I was born in 1932 in Puerto Rico. I was born in Luquillo, Puerto Rico, where the Yonkers at. And from there, I went to New York when I was about 3 years old, out in Harlem.
When were you born?
1932, March.
March.
Yeah, I just turned 81 in March 23rd.
March 23rd.
I turned 81.
Okay. And how about your families?
Oh wow.
You all moved. You all moved to New York City?
Well, yeah. When I was a kid, yeah. I had two older sisters, and they're still alive. They live in Florida. And I have four brothers. One was in the Navy, one was in Vietnam, and me. And my other brother, he's a professor down in Washington.
Okay.
I was 16 when I joined the service. And
you're not supposed to join service at the
17,
age of 16.
17. I changed the papers.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, I had the papers changed. My mother had to change the port in San Juan, you know, my aunt, they fixed the papers. Okay, so I ended up in the Army, and I had a cousin that was in the Second World War, and he was with the 101st, and he was one of them. And he came around with weeds and the girls, you know, down the street. So he asked me when the sergeant asked me what part of the service that I wanted to join. So I told him I wanted to be a paratrooper.
Why?
Because my cousin, I just told you, I had a cousin that was a paratrooper in the 82nd during the war. So when he used to walk around the street with the girls and everything. So I asked, wow. So when the sergeant said, what do I want to do? I said, I want to be a paratrooper. And I was just a young kid. I must have weighed about 98 pounds. I must have weighed about 98 pounds. So anyway, I joined the service and I went to Japan.
But let me ask you, what were you doing? You were in the Army when the Korean War broke out?
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that.
So, yeah, how did you feel about it? Were you afraid of being there?
Let me get to the point. I'll tell you. I'm sorry, so you get the story. This is why I want to go back.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I joined the service. I went to Japan, and I became a paratrooper in Japan, up in Hokkaido, Sapporo. Okay, then while we were there, the 7th Division was in Korea. Okay, so they said we're going to send the States, the ones with MacArthur, back to the States. That was the 11th Airborne. That was us. And the 7th Division came from Korea into Japan. Okay, so then when we came to Japan, it was Fort Campbell. It's Camp Campbell now. It's Fort Campbell now. It used to be Camp Campbell. Okay, so when we was there in I guess May, we went on maneuvers.
What year are you talking about?
1950.
50.
This is 1950. Okay, yeah, this was in 49 to 50. And then we came to Fort Campbell.
So you enlist Army in 1949?
48.
48?
Yeah, 48. Okay, so
and you were
16.
in Japan?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the trip I'm saying. I made the trip, you know.
Yeah.
Maneuvers, you know, and then I went to camp, then I went to Campbell. And that's how I knew about Korea. All right?
Yeah.
So then, when we came back to Campbell, we had a maneuvers. It's called Swammer. It's a big story.
Yeah.
Swammer was a big maneuvers that we had from Campbell to Fort Bragg, and that it was a big deal because we were changing planes. We used to jump out of 46s and 47s, and we made this maneuver to develop this new plane. That's the ones that we jumped in Korea with. So that's why we made the maneuvers to practice these jumps. It was called Swammer. It was a big deal. So right after that was in May, right? In June, Korea broke out. In June, right?
Yeah.
50. So then we had finished the maneuvers. So when the war broke out, MacArthur said send the 11th, and it was the 187. So they couldn't send a division because we didn't have a division. So they sent a regiment, the 187. They sent the 187. It wasn't a 187. The patch wasn't there yet.
Right.
They made it in Korea. This patch, it wasn't there. And I had to program something, and I got some leaflets and stuff from Korea.
Well, let me ask this question. Do you remember what day that you went to Korea?
Yeah, it had to be. It was August, July. Around, I think we left for August.
August of 1950?
Yeah, August of 1950. Between August and September. I can't say which date, because I'd say MacArthur asked for the 187 to go, so they made a battalion. Because it wasn't a whole battalion, they had to put it together.
Where did you arrive in Seoul?
I'm going to explain that right now. So they made the battalion together, And then we went to Korea. When we got to Korea, we was in a plane in Japan, all dressed up, parachutes, you know, to jump into Kimpo because the Marines were fighting to get Seoul. See, so they wanted us to jump in Kimpo, and the Marines were taking Seoul. So we were going to jump into Kimpo, but then the Marines took Seoul, so they cut it off. We didn't jump. We didn't make the jump.
Okay.
We came into Kimpo and we cleaned up the airport with a lot of dead guys, you know, we piled it dead and stuff like that.
Was that before the recovery of Seoul, or
yeah, well,
was it before or after?
Just before they cut the Marines. That's when the Marines took Seoul, and we was coming in. We was going to jump in, but the Marines took it, so we didn't take it. So that was like September, something
September 16 or 17,
yeah,
because they recovered the Seoul
right.
September 15.
Okay, so it was right there, right in those days, right there.
No, September 18th or so. Yes.
I don't know the dates.
Yeah.
I remember it's about that time.
Okay.
So the Marines took Seoul, and we were supposed to jump into Kimpo.
But you didn't.
But we didn't because they said, okay, hang it off, you know. So then we landed, and I said we cleaned out the Kimpo. We cleaned out the dead bodies, and then we went guerrilla stomping. We went cleaning out we were cleaning out the hills from Kimpo to Seoul, and we were stationed in Yeongdong-po. We was at the bridge. We was cleaning out all the stuff coming from Seoul.
Yeah.
And having all the troops come in. The troops coming in from the south.
Yeah.
Into Yeongdong-po, into Seoul. It's not there no more. I was there a couple of years ago. It's real nice, man. It's pretty, man. Anyway, so we did that, and then we did some guerrilla stomping, and then we made the jump to Pyongyang. I tell people I was in Pyongyang, they don't believe me. But
why?
Because how could I be in Pyongyang?
Oh, when people talk about North Korea.
When they say, "Well, you've been to Korea?" I say, "Yeah, I've been all over." You know, they said, "I've been to Pyongyang." Pyongyang, you can't believe it's true. I was there like 12 days. Yeah.
So tell me about what you did in Pyongyang.
Oh, we would.
When was it?
Our post, you know.
Was it October or when?
Oh, into December, huh?
You jumped into the Pyongyang in December?
No, we was there. We landed there.
Okay.
And then we went from Seongcheon. No, Seongcheon is above Pyongyang. See, here's Pyongyang, and we jumped over here, right?
Yeah.
So we were working there, you know, fighting, you know, because we had a lot of infiltration and stuff, you know. And
who were the enemies?
Huh?
Who were the enemies?
I don't know. I don't know none of that.
Or were they Chinese or the North Koreans?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It could probably be mixed, but most of the times it was mixed. You know,
Okay.
sometimes the North Koreans, sometimes the Chinese were mixed with them. And there were a lot of young kids too, man. The North Koreans, they had a lot of young kids fighting.
So, tell me about the most dangerous moment during your service.
Oh, when I made the jump.
Tell me. When was it and how was it?
I can't tell you the date, but I remember that we made the jump.
Yeah.
Well, it was scary, you know, because we were loaded down.
But it wasn't the first time that you jumped.
Oh, of course not.
Right.
That was like about my 16th jump.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't forget you're going into combat here. Before you're just making, you know, training jumps and exhibition jumps. But you're going to fight. You're going into combat now.
Right.
Yeah. And don't forget you're loaded down. You know, like they have a Griswold bag that you put your rifle in. We didn't do that. We hang it on the side. We fill that up with grenades and ammunition, and then you know the bags on the side.
So did you encounter the...
Watch this. I'll tell you a story.
Yeah,
Okay.
tell me. Keep going.
Okay, when you jump, when you jump, you're loaded, you know. You got ammunition, you know, hand grenades, you know, you're loaded out, a lot of ammunition. Okay, so the Griswold bag, when you put your rifle in, we didn't put it in there. We filled it up with ammunition. So it's, you know, and hang it on the side. Okay. When we jump out, we jump it like this. But, you know the bags? You see the guys with the bags? Okay, so I have bags here and I had bags here, right? So I took my ammunition, my bandoliers, and I put them in here. So watch when I jump. It went bang, bang. I emptied out my rifle and I reached down and there's nothing there. Because the weight from the bullets in there just ripped the bags off.
How long did you stay in Korea?
Oh, I got there in September and I came home in May. I was in the second rotation list.
So 1951 May, you returned to the United States.
That's right.
Yeah. Were you wounded?
Sort of, kind of, but I never got recognition for it.
Uh-huh.
That's a long story, too.
Okay. Tell me about how you lived there. Did you live in tent, or what did you eat? Tell me about those things.
Sometimes just in the sleeping bags, you know, in the foxholes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we slept. We was in Tegu, where the camp was at. Tegu. We was there for wow. We used to go and come for rest and fresh.
How many jumps did you make?
I made
in
65
Korea?
jumps.
65 during the war?
No, they only did 2 jumps.
2 jumps during the war?
Yeah, I only made 1. The second one I was hurt, so I couldn't make the second one. That was the one to Munson A.
Uh-huh.
All right? But we have to do a lot of practicing. Because, see, to get paid as a paratrooper, you get what you call servant's pay, right? Mm-hmm. So we used to get paid, I think, $45 a month. Now they get like 100 and some money. Before I only got $75. So now that, $45.
How much were you paid?
Here's what I'm explaining. 45.
No. 45?
That's what I'm saying. No, you mean my salary?
Yeah.
Oh, my salary wasn't too much. I think 100 and change, I think.
100 something, right?
Yeah, 100 and change.
Yeah,
and
what
then,
did you do with that money?
So then I got the other $50, right?
For the jump?
For the jump,
Yeah.
That's what I've been explaining to you. As a paratrooper, to get paid the
Special bonus.
for paying, you had to jump once a month. If you're there 12 months, you have to make 12 jumps. But in between, maybe you have exhibition jumps for schools, or you do exhibition jumps for the cadets, for West Point. You know, they say the cadets come, we have to make jumps, and don't forget they made the jumps when they were practicing certain shoots, because we changed. That's when we did Swama. When we did Swama, they had to change the shoots because we had like a T3 or something. They changed it to T4. I don't remember those numbers. I don't remember, but they changed the shoots and they changed the planes from the 46s and 47s to the 119s and the 82s. That's when they made the switches.
What was the most rewarding moment during your service? What was the most happiest and rewarding? Discharge? When were you discharged?
4/4/52.
4/4/52.
Yeah.
But that was
April 4. April 4.
Yeah, but that was in the United States, not in Korea, right?
Yeah, I told you I came back in May. I came back in May. I got here in, I think, June, something like that. So,
Did you write back to your family?
Of course.
Oh, how often?
Not too much. But like I said, when you get to Tegu, they bring us back to Tegu. It was intense. We lived in tents for a week, 2 weeks, checking up, speaking up, checking materials, seeing the friends, getting mail, But that's about all. Only when we went to Tegu. When we was out in the field, like we'd be out for 2-3 weeks and then we'd come back in. Cleaning the standbys. That's what we do. We was better by it was an apple orchard. It was the Tegu was an apple orchard.
Right.
It was the apple orchard, yeah. And then there was a river there, I think. It was always dry. It was hot. And that's the first place I ever ate the persimmons. Never seen a persimmons since I went to Korea.
Persimmons. Do you remember that taste?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. But don't forget, we get it like in September, and it wasn't ripe yet. So they were a little bitter.
Was it bitter?
Yeah,
okay.
It was a little bitter. I hated the most was crossing those rice paddies. You know what it is to cross rice paddies when it's wet and gooey, and you got to go from point A to point B. Oh, it's not too easy. And then when you got boots on.
Yeah. So heavy.
That was the worst part, going to those paddies, boy. Going from point A to point B. Yeah. And you know what surprised me too was the way they lived. They were a lot different from the Japanese. Where the homes, they had to put the fire underneath to warm the house. And those smart asses, instead of putting a couple of pieces of charcoal in it, they put logs in there and burn the house up. The guys in my outfit, they're dumb, boy. Yeah, and I remember the outfits, the Korean outfits, the old men with the hats, the women with the A-frames. That's different. That was really different too.
Have you been back to Korea?
Yeah, I told you last year.
Ah, how was it?
beautiful. I couldn't believe it. That place is fabulous. Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful.
So are you rewarded?
Not me, you guys were
No. You fought for us, and you see that such a development, such a
fabulous.
drastically different.
Fabulous. Very good.
Uh-huh.
A1. Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah, I thought it was beautiful.
Who invited
The
you?
streets, the boulevards, the hotels, the people. Can't talk to people, but you stop and went to get something and talk to the lady. But it was beautiful. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It surprised me. I even went to the old city. It's in out of Incheon, just out of Incheon. The restaurant. I mean the museum. And I seen the difference. I can imagine the kids today that didn't see that. Wow. The kids see it, they won't believe it, The shoes, the rubber shoes. How about the cemeteries? Old mounds. You don't see that no more.
But why people say that the war has been forgotten? It's such an important war that you made such a drastic change to the Korean
I can't
people.
tell you that. That's people talking. I can't say nothing. I know that when I was there, I see what the hell are we doing here, Because it's a difference from the way we were living to the way the people living there, In those days, it was really antique. Now it's really modern. Like I said, the kids that see it today don't know what Korea was really like, especially the kids that are 25, 30 years old. Right? A lot of kids don't know that, unless they study it.
Right.
And who goes that far?
What do you think about the impact of your service upon your life when you came back from the Korea? How did it affect you?
I wasn't upset. It's a long story. That's personal, what happened to me when I come out of Korea. But I was just glad to get out of service. I don't like taking orders like that. I mean, I respect people. I was a mechanic with my father when I was growing up, but I didn't like to be under command like that. I had a brother that was in it 37 years.
Mm-hmm.
My brother. I said, what? But he's lucky he gets that check now. I don't get it.
Did you get the benefit of GI Bill?
Yeah, I got the GI Bill.
Uh-huh.
But that only lasted so long. And then I really messed it up because I didn't keep up with it. Then the time expired, so I didn't really take advantage of it.
Oh, boy.
Hey, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't as easy when I got out, But I made it all right. I have 5 children, all grown. I got about 17 grandchildren.
Any message that you want to leave to this interview?
Well, I think it's great. I think I wish I'd have done it early. And like I said, if I'd have known that, I have some souvenirs you could probably have. I have some leaflets that they threw down. I have a few things that if you want it, I can't use them.
Yo, if you have pictures or anything, okay, send it to me in the envelope. You have my address there.
Yeah, I got some pictures in Daegu. It's just standing there.
Yeah, no problem. Just send it to me.
picture.
How does Korean people treat you in LA? Korean War veterans.
Well, with the association, you're all right.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of places I go to, I don't think but they don't know I'm a veteran,
Okay.
That's the way they are.
Yeah.
I know how the Korean people are. But if I tell them I'm a veteran, they respect me.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Oh, because I got a lot of folders from the last 10, 15 years when they have the parties. They give you certificates. I've got a lot of certificates. They're medals. They give us the medals.
Yeah.
So what I do with them is I send them to buddies that didn't go. Because I get a lot of them. So I had like about 6 or 7 of them. So I send them to one buddy. He just died. I sent him 2, and I send one another buddy that the last of the 3. He's dying now. His name is Mazur. He started one of the papers. He's the one that's in the picture with me that I'm gonna send if I can find it. He's 83 and he's on his way. He's dying because he's on a gas mask.
Anything you want to say to the interview?
Well, I thought it was interesting. I think I hope it turns out to be a success for you guys because a lot of people might want to read the book. Who knows? And I hope you continue with it because if the younger kids don't know what the place was like, they're not going to forget it. Like we do here in the States. But I thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the call.
Mr. Garcia, thank you so much for the fights
Thank you, Mr.
for the Korean nation.
You too, sir.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.